50-something of Adventurers Wanted! Yay! We are over halfway through a continuous D&D game, so you are coming in over halfway through a continuous D&D game. You will be confused, that's okay. We understand. We have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience, which means if you have any questions, fire them at us. That is kind of the point here. It also means we have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement in the audience for the benefit of those who've had difficulty being still or silent for an hour if you fall into that category. The lighting will stay just like this. You want to take a break for any reason, you can head out through the door you came in through, come back any point during the hour. Find sweet staff members, red and black t-shirts with sweet written across the front. They have key fobs to let you in. Please feel free to step out or step in if you need to. We are not technically a fully relaxed performance because we have some loud sound effects during the show from our friend Wilhelm at the back. There he is. Good to see him. Good, lovely. And there will also be some music throughout as well. If you need help in the room, our stage manager, Nemo, is right there. That's Nemo. If you need help from Nemo at any point, catch their eye or wave and get their attention, and they will happily assist you with anything you might need in the room. Right, we're playing D&D. Is everyone here au fait with D&D? Oh, we have a not so short. Oh, good, lovely. For those who are uninitiated, D&D basically means the four people to my left and right are playing characters in a shared fantasy universe, and I play the shared fantasy universe. So I'll be covering everything they encounter, deal with, fight, fall over, you know, all the classics.
Being engulfed by.
Struggle with doors with is classic D&D one, I think, but yeah. I'll be doing everything else. They have character sheets which give them special abilities they'll be using throughout the game. To make sure that they can't completely trump me with those special abilities, we use dice. This is a d20. A 1 is terrible, a 20 is good. They'll be rolling them throughout the game and shouting out numbers. If they roll a 1 or a 20, obviously feel free to boo or cheer, depending on how you feel about the character. That's your prerogative. Good, lovely. Before I talk through the story too much, let's meet all of our players. So, starting on my right, please give me your name and what pronouns you use, your character's name, what pronouns they use, and a little bit about where they're at the moment. For example, I am Chris, I use he, him pronouns.
Hello, my name is Reese, I use he, him pronouns, and so does my character. I play Professor Digby Drawsell. He is a tabaxi, which is a cat person. Imagine like a bipedal ocelot, long limbs, slim body, scruffy face. And I'm a druid, and all of my magical powers come from nature, which means I can transform into animals and summon lightning and fire and do weird things with the ground.
And you're wearing a tweed jacket with elbow patches.
And I'm wearing a tweed jacket with elbow patches because I look like the stereotypical geography professor.
And what do you look like right now?
Right now, I'm currently a mammoth.
Correct.
In the middle of a giant black oozy thing.
Correct. Does your mammoth have your elbow patches?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Where it would be like long brown fur over most of his body.
Yeah.
It's like weirdly caked on mud and dirt and ice on the elbows.
Yeah.
To resemble elbow patches.
Excellent. Very, very good.
My name is Aidan. I will be playing a gnomish ranger called Pavel. I prefer he, him pronouns, as does my character, Pavel. This is my first time playing D&D. Got a clap for that, that's fantastic.
You're gonna die.
And
Don't.
I've just looked at the future, and I believe I might die.
Give us a look for Pavel. What does he look like?
Pavel's a dirty, he's obviously very short, but he's quite dirty. Doesn't take much care of his appearance apart from his beard, which is perfectly coiffured to a very fine point. Can't quite use it as a weapon. I think you can use yours as a weapon, maybe. I thought so, yeah. But he's very proud of that.
Splendid.
Other than that, couldn't care less.
Splendid. That's Pavel. Isla.
Yes, I am Isla. She, her pronouns, and my character is Kimmy. Is also she, her. She is a halfling monk. Really just wanted to be a calligrapher. Now is begrudgingly in the middle of a massive battle. So
You are currently in combat with the main villain of the piece, with two of your allies helping out alongside. It's going really well.
Yeah.
Go for it, Mark.
My name is Mark, he, him pronouns. The character I'm playing is John Hisworn. He is a green dragonborn druid. So think of a dragon standing on its hind legs, but as a human, you'll have a flavour of what he looks like. Also think Peter with claws. He loves animals, but you hurt them, he'll kill you.
There we go. Those are our 4 characters this hour. Let me catch you up on what's going on. Basically, you're about to walk into the Battle of Helm's Deep in a slightly more eldritch way. Cool, ready? Yeah, no, a bit more, fine. The characters are currently embroiled in a battle with the terrible cult that enslaved them 5 years ago. They pushed back, the cult pushed back, they've been in a constant back and forth, and now the cult appear to have the upper hand and are striking through, trying to destroy the rebellion's home base of Holmwood, which is in the mountains, and they and their allies are making a final stand. Since we're only an hour 50 odd, it's not the final stand, they're very clear, but it is a final stand. Yeah, okay. John! You are not there! At the end of the last game you played, you were taking some of this mystical ore that has terrible magical, explosive and time travel properties to the Oaken Bramble, the large wood behind Holmwood, to try and get a way to get it purified. How has your travel been?
I'm hoping smoothly.
Yeah, you're a very, very good druid. You know exactly what you're doing when it comes to walking through the woods. You've managed to make your way to the Oaken Bramble without much upset at all. Where are you headed?
Well, as I wasn't there where the first purification was, I'm assuming I'd be heading for the clearing where we met the elves the last time.
Yep. As you head towards the clearing where the elves tend to congregate, you find the elven covered wagons. They are beautiful and coloured and covered. All the C words. They are in the middle of this clearing, and around them you find various elves who are in the process of taking chunks of this unrefined ore to various mystical trees around this clearing and placing the ore within the trees. The trees at first were not very happy about the idea of being used to purify this ore, but some of them are already chock full, and you can start seeing the dim green glowing light coming out of the trees now as this ore is purified into pure green crystalline form. It appears the plan to stop this ore being quite as explosive, dangerous and destructive is working.
I will trot up to the first elf nearby and just right, we've got more for you. Please deal with this, but I gotta go.
The elf nods. Where are you going?
There's a rather large battle on the other side of the forest.
What?
Can't you hear the noise screaming and dying?
No.
Right. If you have any spare rangers, that way, quickly, would be very, very helpful.
Are you saying they might need aid?
Definitely.
Right. Okay, I'll ask around, see if anyone can come along and help. But you should probably get started.
Definitely.
And John, you turn and make your way back towards Holmwood, running through the trees. Can you make a general survival check, please?
Oh, that's not too bad. 15.
15. You manage to find a very good path without using a spell called Find the Path. And you manage to make your way through the woods relatively quickly, heading back, and you can hear up ahead you the screams and shouts and destructive violence of combat as you enter around the back of Holmwood and see ahead of you the town still relatively unscathed, but in front of it, towards the path heading south and down the hill, a mighty battle is being fought. Let's re-enter initiative. Pavel.
Hello.
You are a member of the rebellion. You have been part of this battle. You've been standing on a ladder overlooking the palisade walls, about 30 foot high, that surrounds Holmwood, just wooden tree trunks stuck into the floor. You've been using your bow, I presume, from quite a long distance. Got a bow?
Yes, I do.
Thank goodness. To take pot shots, but you are largely out of the combat, and you can see that the tide that was shifting in the rebellion's favour is now turning as these gigantic shoggoth, these very large, ooze-like monstrosities covered in eyes and otherwise tendrils of warped black flesh, are currently steamrolling towards the walls of Holmwood, and an ally of yours, a gigantic mammoth that charged into one of these, now appears to have been swallowed by it. There are 2 of them approaching. There are also armies of cultists and their flying Bayaki mounts, although most of them have been grounded by the storm sorcerers that are your allies, using their storm guide abilities to drive them to the ground with heavy winds and then using ice storms to trap them. So at this point the battle is largely happening on the ground. quite a few of these creatures are now splitting out of the way, and from the front, these two Shoggoth are breaking through and attacking your friends, and from the sides, these creatures are also coming in a classic pincer movement. And in the middle, you can see a mighty battle of swords and wits taking place between some of the leaders of the different factions, because, you know, it's fantasy RPG. So, that big fight is happening in the middle as well. What would you like to do?
How many of the inky eye creatures are there?
2.
2, and one of them is currently engulfing my mammoth friend.
Yes. The other has not been hit by anything yet.
I'd like to try and make my way over to the mammoth.
Okay.
And
Are you trying
without
to
even asking, I'm going to try and... Well, I want to be able to... My plan is to try and get the inky ooze off him, and then beat on the mammoth. So I think I'll hunter's mark the inky boy.
The inky boy is quite a long way away, so to Hunter's Mark you have to get a bit closer. Do you want to skirt around and avoid the gigantic battle going on, or do you want to go through it? One of these answers is a dumb answer.
One of these things is not like the other.
Are you quite stealthy, Ranger?
Well, this difficult terrain doesn't slow on us the groups travel, so it's, I thought might be in my size, might be able to just weave in and out of their legs, but I think I'll skirt. Yeah, I think I'll skirt.
Roll me a stealth check, please.
Stealth check.
Well, that's a good
I
roll.
rolled an 18.
Ooh,
do
that
I
was his
add
first roll ever.
Stealth is +3.
So
21. You skirt around the edge of combat and no one seems to notice your diminutive form. As you skirt your way around the edge of the big fight in this icy storm cloud as the sorcerers battle on, you manage to get around the side of this combat and are now face to face is strong, about 30 feet away from this humongous ooze-like creature, and you can just see the form of a mammoth occasionally breaking through from its form. They appear to be relatively similar in size, and this mammoth is trying desperately to break free from this big oozy grip that has it surrounded. You will not be able to jump onto its back now unless you want to get a face full of ooze.
So I'll hunter's mark the ooze.
The Shoggoth, yes.
The Shoggoth, yes.
Thank you.
My pride's slightly hurt that no one cared that I was just moving around. I thought I was quite a high target.
You were trying to hide, man.
Yeah. I mean, but I'll hunter's mark, but I'll still. Am I currently stealth?
Yes, you are.
Or
you are
okay.
currently stealth.
I think I'll hold my action then. If I can just hunter's mark and then try and stay in the shadows.
I'll allow that. That's totally fine. In which case, what we're going to do is re-enter the existing initiative order, because that works for me. John, can you roll initiative? And Pavel, can you roll initiative as well? Let's roll your 20-sided dice and your dexterity modifier, please.
17.
17, excellent, thank you.
4.
4. Well, there you go, someone has to roll there. Lovely. So Pavel, you have snuck up and you have held your action. What are you holding your action for? What is the trigger? And what is the action?
The triggers, my eyes are on the mammoth. Any sort of opening I can get to do some serious damage.
Absolutely fine. Kimmy, you are currently embroiled in a very, very dangerous, very interesting four-way duel with Lady Mizoth, who is the leader of the cult, wearing her gigantic plate-spiked armor and what looks like a skull helmet, but it's actually just her skull. She is fighting at the moment with Simon, who is the leader of the rebellion, and is just there with his shield and sword, looking for all intents and purposes like just a normal farm boy. Get the reference. And Broldrin, a human barbarian who is whacking away with an axe, trying to break through this heavy armor that Mizoth wears. And you, live halfling monk you, who I can't seem to hit for toffee. It is your turn first. What would you like to do?
Is it all spiky up the arm?
It is spiky everywhere.
Okay.
It is all spikes. It's more spike than armor. It's more spike now than armor. Twisted and yellow.
I'm gonna want to try and get a sword away from her somehow.
Interesting. Okay, how would you like to do that? You can try and grab it off her.
It's all spiky, that's the problem. But
The sword itself is not that spiky, it's just a big old sword.
it's pretty sharp.
It's pretty sharp. I mean, it is a sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and jump up and get the handle.
You're going to try and get hold of the handle?
Arm,
Okay, excellent. Can you
and
make
try
a grapple attempt for me? It's an athletics check.
Athletics.
Thank you.
8.
No, I'm afraid that's a 22.
I just jump up.
You jump up and try and grab hold of her sword. I mean, what I'm going to allow is that you're hanging onto the handle, but she's still swinging it.
Okay.
She has a strength of very high, so yeah, she's not going to take that much attention to you at all. That counts as one of your attacks. As you are a monk, you have 3 attacks in a round. So what would you like to do after you grab hold of the end of her sword and just hanging on for dear life as she swings it around her head?
As I'm swinging, I'll try and kick out.
Okay, make an unarmed strike against her.
That's also a 6. This is not going well.
6 plus, what is your unarmed strike modifier?
I think it's
Same as your
Dex, isn't it?
Same as your
Oh, same as your Okay, so 11.
11. You push out with your foot trying to catch her, and you impact her jaw, which just booms back. She doesn't appear to be affected by it at all as she swings. You have one more attack, monk.
Well, I'm just going to keep trying to kick.
Okay.
Maybe this time. No!
No, even worse. Even
No.
worse. Your other flying kick, as you swing past her head, just impacts on her head twice, but seems to do no damage to the gigantic undead creature. I mean, gigantic, she's like 7 foot tall, not gigantic. Like a big woman.
Bigger
right?
than me.
Bigger than you, big woman. The first thing she's going to try and do is punch you off her sword. I think that's the only fair way to do this. Cool. That is a 21. Just breaks your AC of 20. Yes, it does. She has an AC of 20 as a Kensei monk for you. She launches out and punches you. You are knocked back off her sword, taking 6 points of damage. At which point her sword is free and she looks around her, looking at the situation unfurling in front of her, and smiles. You can just this horrible smile in this toothy skeletal maw as she launches out with her sword and takes a strike at Simon. Ooh, and hits him. The great sword cleaves into the poor little human. 12, 18, plus 6. 24 points of damage. He is slashed across the chest and falls back, profusely bleeding from his midriff. He has lost about a third of his hit points in one attack. That is the end of her turn. Simon gets up and tries to fight back against this gigantic woman and manages again to slip his longsword through the cracks in her armor, dealing a small amount of damage. And as you watch, as the sword slips in between the bits of the armor that are hurting her, he manages to impact underneath. You can't see quite what her flesh is. You get the sense it might not be flesh at all, or if it is, it doesn't seem to be doing her that much damage, as she doesn't appear to even flinch at the prospect of being cut by the sword. Broldrin, the human barbarian, runs in and also swings at her, this time impacting heavily, doing a considerable amount of damage as she smacks across the midriff with her gigantic axe, and in doing so, again, knocks the creature back. But as they knock her back and as she steps forward, you can see where the armor doesn't quite cover her, that where there is undead, warped, stretched flesh, it is slowly regrowing over where the strikes are hitting.
Oh, great. Regeneration properties.
Yeah, she
Just
boss
what we
boss.
Seems like a fair way to do it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Definitely not.
Digby, you are under a Shoggoth.
That's cool. Well, that's fine.
I'm making this attack roll with advantage because it is literally engulfing you.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Seem fair?
Yeah.
Good.
Does it beat 13?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we worked out last time that was, how many d6 was it?
I mean, it was a lot, dude.
It's a stupid amount of d6.
I think it was actually D10s, but I'm.
Oh, they are
like-
d10s. You're right, it is d10s. Thank you. That will be 3d10 for simply rolling over you, plus the slam attack, which is another 6d10 on top of that.
1910.
So it's 9d10. 1, 2,
Potential 90
3,
damage.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 6 as well. 2, 12, 21, 31, 38, 40, maths in my head, 7, 56, 59, 66. 66 points of damage to your mammoth form as this creature literally belts through you. Sort of like that.
My mammoth is on 2 hit points.
Oh, God! Oh, mate.
This is how I die. Okay, so using my.
You're still a fucking mammoth! What would you like to do?
I would like to try and burst out of the side of this thing.
Go for it.
What are we making this? An attack roll?
Just a
or
normal
strength
attack
check
roll. Just a normal attack roll.
If it got advantage on me, do I get advantage on it?
Yes.
Awesome. Plus 10. 24.
You manage to tear your way through the outsides of this creature. However, it is amorphous, therefore it continues to stick on you and keep forming with you and go with you. You cannot literally tear out of this creature like that because it is made of liquid.
I mean, I'm going to roll damage. Cause
Do it! Roll the damage! Currently, if it's 220 hit points, you've taken 58 off.
7, 13, 17, 18, plus 7 is 25.
25.
25 piercing.
Lovely. And you want to stamp as you go?
Yeah, I'll stamp. Why
Go
not? 27 to hit?
Yeah, you absolutely hit. Has a low AC.
Awesome. 5, 7, 16, 23, 30 bludgeoning damage.
30 bludgeoning damage. Splendid. You are tearing into this creature, and you can see that it's starting to struggle to maintain its shape and form in this awesome battle of beast v ooze.
Seeing this, can
Paddle,
Paddle,
yes. Your action
jump
is
in?
now ready to jump in. As the mammoth starts to tear itself free of the ooze, what would you like to do?
I'd like to Slayer's Prey. I think this is a bonus action. Can I do this? Is that at the end of my turn or at the end?
Yeah, go for it.
No, if you hit, you just do an additional 1d6 of damage.
Excellent. So I'm just going to go
Ranger.
stealth attack and just try and try and hit the edge of
The ooze without hitting the mammoth.
yeah, without hitting.
Make an
the
attack roll
mammoth.
with advantage because you're shooting from stealth.
So,
Roll
with
twice,
advantage.
take the higher number.
Oh. So that's an 18.
You've already hit it, but yes.
So I'll take the 18.
In case it's a critical, do it again.
Okay. Oh,
He rolled it, it was.
18.
Never mind, cool. 18. An arrow comes launching out of nowhere, mammoth, and embeds itself into one of this creature's many eyes.
Ooh.
There are eyes all over it. It is
Roll
an ooze
this
made of
one,
eyes.
and
and
this
the
one.
yeah.
Roll that one twice.
Okay. So it's a 5 and a 4
9.
and a 1. 10.
10 plus the
Plus
number
3.
of the sheet, plus 3. 13.
13.
Your arrow launches out and pierces one of the eyes and goes so fast it pierces through two of them, and both of the eyes just start oozing. What is the word for stuff inside eyes? It is a kind of jelly, but there is a word for it.
It's humus.
Humour, something like
that,
humour.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
humour starts
Yeah.
bubbling out of these eyes, just melting down into the side of this horrific creature. As you both realise that you are doing serious damage to this creature, the other one has bulldozed forward and is starting to move through the troops that you were not engaging with at all. Some of them leap out of the way and manage to escape, but a rather sizable portion of your human sorcerer, elf, rogue, and dwarf barbarian allies are falling beneath this second one as it inexorably grinds its way forward, crushing them beneath it as it heads towards the flimsy wooden walls of Holmwood. John, you're at the back of town. You can see this happening. What would you like to do?
The Shoggoth that's rolling forward.
Yes.
How far away did our allies get from it?
The one that's rolling forward is rolling over your allies, so currently 0 feet.
I'm more worried about the ones on its
Perimeter. It is currently going straight through your army. It is currently in the middle of it.
And how big are one of these things?
They're huge, so they're about 20 foot across.
I think this is the time to be nasty.
Correct. Very much so.
I'm going to be calling down lightning.
Excellent. A cloud forms above this battle. It's already overcast with a red-tinged cloud that Colt seems to drag with it wherever it goes.
I believe there's still a storm in place.
There is still a storm in place, yes.
An extra D10.
Yes, it does. Your lightning cloud merges with this red cloud, starting to somehow change it almost. Can you unpervert something? Purify! To purify it and use it to. Can you unpervert something? It's been a long month. Starting to purify this cloud as lightning pours down out of it into the Shoggoth, I presume?
Yes.
Cool. Make an attack. No, it makes a saving throw.
It's DC saving throw.
It's a dexterity saving throw. It does not make the saving throw. It has a dexterity of appalling because it is a. So, roll the damage on that for me, please. The maths part of D&D. 25 points of damage. This second Shoggoth now has a lightning bolt tear through it, but even that mighty strike that would fell even the greatest of creatures appears to have barely slowed it. I am sorry, they are Saxophonians. Right, Kimmy. The battle between the three of you rages on. You are starting to hurt knees off, but you also note that she is healing at a rapid rate, and this could be problematic. What would you like to do?
Well, she's got spiky armor.
Correct.
Which is perfect for climbing, I guess.
It is perfect for climbing. I will give you an advantage on climbing her armor.
So I'm going to climb up
Yep.
and see if there's any like buckles or something that I could undo.
Interesting.
Take the armor off.
Yeah, okay. You climb your way up the armor. Can you make a, what kind of check would this be?
That's a sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, no, it's not to open it, it's to look for
Oh,
it.
it's not.
Investigation, make an investigation check as you climb up the armor, looking around, looking for ways to take this gigantic suit of armor off.
5.
5. It looks like it's pretty much welded on.
Okay, well I'm just going to climb up and kick her in the head.
Okay. Would you like to use your quarterstaff to attack first?
That would probably be a good idea.
Excellent. You leap up and use your quarterstaff to try and almost like get it down the middle to try and find a way of unwedging her or something. Make an attack roll.
14 plus 5.
Yes, you managed to impact her. Roll the damage.
Okie 3 plus 4, 7.
7 points of damage as it starts to whittle into her and you start whittling away at the bones inside and almost start tearing the flesh, trying to sort of either get her out or do something as you're stood on her shoulders, weaving back and forth as she swings her sword around wildly. Roll another attack roll, either with a quarterstaff or with an unarmed strike.
We'll
It's up
go
to you.
Quarterstaff.
Okay.
13 plus 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
You are impacting again, as long as you break a 17.
Okay. 9 damage.
9 damage. You are slowly starting to break her down a little bit as you are trying to break this down. You do have an unarmed strike left, as you are a monk. You could even take 2 if you want to use a key point to use Flurry of Blows.
I'll try and just hit once.
Try
at
to hit
the
once.
moment.
Okay.
8 plus 5. No.
No, your unarmed strike is probably sort of like once you've got it there, you try to just punch her in the head, but the head is made of bone, so nothing happens. You do have hurt her a little, though, in this round. However, it is now her turn. Lovely. She, realizing you on her back is going to be endlessly frustrating for a very long time, but you're not actually doing that much damage to her, is going to ignore you. And instead, focuses her ire on Broldrin, who hit her for the most damage at this point. Stepping back so she's out of range, Broldrin gets an attack of opportunity, which she hits with a critical. As she tries to be tactically combative, she steps back and a massive strike with the great axe slashes into her, doing considerable amounts of damage to her. She is frustrated by this as she reaches her hand out. It's not quite skeletal. There are some bits of flesh and muscle still attached to the bone as she tears up out of the ground. Some horrible bolts of grave energy, some dark necrotic magic pours out of the ground. Broldrin must make a saving throw, which she fails, as she is enwrapped in these horrible dark necrotic tendrils. She takes 48. She's a barbarian, but actually she's a barbarian of the bear, so she's resistant to this damage as well, would you believe it? She takes 14, 8, 6, 20. She takes 10 points of damage from this, but she is now held in place and effectively out of this fight. Simon runs in and tries to strike at her, and unfortunately his sword clangs off the armor. Broldrin tries to step forward but cannot make her way out of these effects and is still stuck in the grave bolt energy that she can now hold indefinitely. Well, for a minute. Right, you are still on her back, but Broldrin is unfortunately, for now, out of this fight. Digby,
Cool.
you and the ooze are locked in a battle for liquid supremacy. What would you like to do?
I mean, I still want to try and get out.
You can keep trying to tear your way out, but it is amorphous and we'll keep it sticking to you.
Cool. Sure.
Actually, hang on, the Shoggoth went first last time.
Yes, I did.
You have 2 hit points, right?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I will roll it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 17,
I'm not sure. What did you roll for
25.
Is that because I held my attack before?
Oh no, you used your because you used other things. I counted that as your action.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're taking about 45 points of damage from that race. So the mammoth form falls and you take 43 points of damage as the mammoth shrinks down and suddenly it's just a tiny little tabaxi who is not strong enough to pull himself out of this situation. What would you like to do? It has used its turn to crush your mammoth form. You are now just a tabaxi in a sea of eyes.
having
Like that? See your bubbles?
having a really difficult moment remembering when these creatures rolled into the city the first time, watching my house be destroyed.
Yep. They destroyed the
Watching-
capital of Goldcrest by literally just going through it. What you gonna do? All glory is fleeting, but so is time.
I am going to have 2 electrical kittens form in my hands.
Yes?
And as I just push out,
Yes.
I'm going to cast lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
In what
assuming-
direction?
Towards towards the back of it.
Towards back south, basically.
Yeah,
Where
back
no
south.
one could possibly be.
Yeah. This isn't the time to be. Well, no, this is always the time to be stupid.
It's making a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Passes, I'm sorry.
It's alright. That's 10, 16. Oh, I rolled really well on this damage, damn. 20, 32, 37, 39, halved.
20. It takes 20 points of damage from your lightning bolt as you tear through it, crackling lightning around this entire creature. Pavel, from the inside, you see the sort of blue glow inside, and suddenly an erupting bolt of blue energy tears out the back of it. Just gonna leave that one hanging. It's your turn. What would you like to do? You are next to it. It is currently, the mammoth appears to have disappeared or shrunk down dramatically inside it.
But Professor's still
You can't see the
engulfed.
professor.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to see.
It's hard
I
to
just
see in a
just see
neutral eyes.
one elbow patch.
One lowly elbow patch rises to the floor and then sinks in again.
I'm going to, seeing the other monstrosity running towards
I'd say running more
lumber or
schlopping.
flopping difficultly. I'm going to cast spike growth just in front of it, which is 20-foot radius of spiked points come up. Anything moving through that is slowed and takes damage. So I want to maximise. I don't want to cast it within it. I want to cast it in front of it, so it has to go through the whole nonsense to.
There are quite a few of your allies around there.
Ow.
But they are
Pavel
probably
thinks
already
about
dead.
this, and
They are
then
probably already dead. Fun game,
probably
though.
all.
Fun game.
Pavel lifts his arm up, hesitates, shrugs.
Does it anyway.
Does it anyway.
Does it anyway. How does
not-
your magic manifest? How do you create these spikes out of the ground? And what are these spikes?
These spikes, Pavel's toes grip into the earth, and as the mud somehow travels up to about his knees,
Yes.
the mud hardens and then shoots back down into the ground, and then these tendrils of
Excellent.
muddy, spiky, hardened dirt shoot up in between Professor and the.
Mark, spike growth, 4d4?
It is for 2d4.
2d4. Okay, can you roll me 2d4 damage, please?
That's a 4
Excellent.
and a 1.
5. The sack of hit points takes 5 points of damage as it rolls over and continues, but it is slowed down by this spiked undergrowth as it makes its way through it. Some of your allies are also being pierced by some of this, but you get the sense that it's piercing more dead bodies than live people. It's been a rough old day.
Pavel winces.
Fair dues, Pavel. Fair dues. John,
I can keep doing this for a while.
you can. So, bonus action on your turn to keep doing lightning bolt. There's an action.
There's an action.
There's an action. Okay, you can keep drawing down lightning on the sugar. Please do.
So
Dexterity
anybody
saving.
around me will probably just hear it draconic. Belga Shakaris, which is me yelling the spell.
It failed.
It's mine.
30 damage.
30 damage. The Shoggoth spiked underneath, lightning pouring into it from the top. It doesn't feel pain. nor does it understand the concept, but it is slowing down. It is still going to hit the walls at some point, but it is slowing down and taking damage while this happens.
I'm having a wandering thought of where the hell my wolves are.
Don't preempt me, man. Kimmy,
Okay.
your fight is ongoing.
Yes.
She goes back to the
I'm gonna take my quarter staff
Yes.
out and then wedge it in another point because it clearly wasn't working there, and keep trying to leave her out.
I will allow you another investigation check to see if you can work out how to remove this armor.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully this time. 13.
Just 13 flat.
Yeah. I don't have.
You realise as you look at the armour that it is attached to her inside, that her form, what is left of it, is spiked into the armour on the inside. You'd have to actually physically lever the pieces off her to stop it from working.
That's lucky I was doing that anyway.
Are you, where are you leaving? So you're reaching a different point. What point are you going for? Logan?
So now I know this information.
Yes.
Then I'm gonna. Shoulders. I think is probably a good
Shoulders,
plan.
lovely. Can you make all 3 attack rolls in one go? Speak.
Okay. 8 plus.
Yes.
All plus 5.
Ah. Yep.
Come
Maths.
5
Hang on. Adding numbers. 5 times 6. 30. Good. Thank you.
13, 16,
Better spell than I thought.
13, 16, 13. You try and reach in with your quarterstaff, try and prise. You put your foot in, just like trying to get this armour off, but you're not breaking through her AC of 17. So
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're not affecting her in that way. She ignores you completely, seeing it's just Simon left in front of her, smiles wickedly. It gets wider.
More teeth.
Oh my god. Her sword slashes out twice, and Simon blocks one with his shield, and the other he ducks underneath. And as he ducks underneath, the shield blocking swings out far, and her sword is torn from her hand and flies and lands on the ground over there. I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Seems fair, honestly.
Simon fights back and does not break through her armor, so we're still at a stalemate there. Right, good. Digby.
Hello.
Yellow. How's it going?
I'll be honest, mate, rough.
The Shoggoth is going to try and crush you. What is your current AC?
14.
What is it?
That is a natural 1.
Yes! Yes!
Even with its attack modifier of plus 10. You are not affected by this. I'm going to allow you a dexterity saving throw to break out of the ooze. Things are coming up, gamers.
Dexterity saving throw, you say? That's
Yes.
a 19.
You, as the creature is being torn to shreds by all the things around it, you realise you can suddenly swim through it almost and manage to break out of the side and tumble out of the side of this Shoggoth. That is its turn. What is your turn?
No.
You think I know? You think I know? I don't know.
I'm gonna send more lightning through the sky. So once again, the kittens come out and pounce through the air as if they're chasing a ball. Dex save.
Yeah, fails it. Changing my dice.
10, 20, 33 lightning damage.
33 lightning damage. It is not looking good as more lightning tears through it. The eyeballs are popping out of its ooze-like form, just rolling along the ground a little bit, just horribly looking around, looking for something to do, and then melting slowly into the ground. As the ooze form of it starts to desiccate and fall apart, you are severely damaging this creature. The other Shoggoth moving ahead takes another 30 points of damage as it keeps moving through the ice. It is not looking anywhere near as bad, but still hurt. Pavel, it is your turn. Your Tabaxi friend has managed to make its way out of this creature. It looks like it is on its last legs. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna attack. Attack.
What are you using to attack it?
My bow and arrow.
Excellent. Technically, as a ranger, you get 2 attacks on your
Yes,
turn,
I was
which
about
you've
to
not
say,
been doing,
extra
so I'm
attack.
going to allow you 3 attacks this round. Because I am a generous
Feel inspired. Pavel picks up 3 arrows to
Oh,
do it in a
yes!
quick succession.
Yes! Legolas this shit, motherfucker!
One of them he turns and winks at someone, probably. But there's no one there.
He
Yeah.
winks the 4th one.
Yeah.
Lovely.
The first one is a 25.
Well, that hits it.
25.
Roll all 3 of the attacks. Roll all 3 of the
Oh,
attacks.
sorry, 24, but still
And
good.
that's an 8.
14.
That also hits.
And a 2.
plus
what do you have?
6.
6.
6, I see.
You pull 3 arrows out, you turn and wink at an imaginary fourth wall, you fire off, and one of the arrows just goes into the ground, but the other 2 tear into the creature and tear through it. Roll all the damage on those 2, and let's hope for something relatively high because it might be dead.
So that's...
No,
oh, sorry,
you are
sorry.
rolling a d8.
D8.
That's a d6, green one.
Green one.
You roll the green one twice, add the modifier twice, and then roll
8.
d6 for
8
Hunter's
plus
Mark,
3.
and the d6 for Slayer's
For
Prey.
Hunter's Mark.
So roll
It's
this twice.
2d8, 2d6 plus the modifier twice. Maths, best bit of D&D.
Hang on, I'm going to help him here.
Yeah, thank you.
Roll this one more.
1 time. 2.
Once again.
Ooh. 2 again.
Okay, so total
Is it
8
more?
plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 again. It's adding up to about 24 damage.
Well, it's your first game. It's only fair you describe how these 2 arrows destroy this creature.
The first one comes in and pins a tendril or a ooze. This is the ooze down.
Yes.
And its body is seen to almost be pinned by this.
Yes.
The other one comes in, Robin Hood style, hits the other arrow with splinters, and then the ooze dissipates.
As the splinters tear through the ooze, it can't hold its form together and just slowly collapses down. All of the eyes just dropping to the ground as it just desiccates and falls apart. One of these 2 creatures completely and utterly destroyed. Woo!
Thank
you! Well, there we go! I mean, killed an eldritch horror. Pretty good. John, what would you like to do?
Continuing trying to fry this thing.
Yeah, failed a saving throw again. It's down to half hit points probably after this damage.
Not that great this time. 19.
19 points of damage. No, it's not under half points yet. But you are slowly whittling away at this creature. It takes despite great damage already as it impacts the walls of Holmwood. The walls are made of wood. It is largely acidic. It just starts to melt over and tear through the walls, and the cultists around it let up a cry of joy as the entire town starts to be crushed by this creature. The cultists who were left, who were in constant battle with your other allies at this point, are starting to try and break and run for the hole in the wall. From the back of town, you can hear the cries of refugees about to flee through the south gate. North gate, doesn't matter, the other side. Trying to escape from this horrible onslaught, and it looks, for the moment, like all might be lost. John, make a perception check.
Just not my day for this dice. 8.
8. From behind you, you hear something. You're not sure what, because you rolled an 8. Over your head, there is an almighty flap of wings. And one of these horrific elder things, one of these almost lieutenants of this army, a gigantic barrel-like creature with horrid fetid wings, tentacles, and a barrel-like 7-foot-tall form, is flying in behind you from over you. Another one is flying into town from the far side as well. More creatures have joined the fray, and it looks, for now, like all hope might be lost. And with that, we end this hour of Adventurers Wanted. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Well,
This is the Get Out script.
this is the Get Out script. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do join us on Twitter, Facebook, social media of any kind, or face-to-face. We're nice people. And also share the story and tell people about what we're doing here. We think D&D is super lovely and super important and a hobby everyone should share, so we'd like to share that with as many people as possible, which I think this room might largely agree with. Yeah, there we go. Good. Lovely. Our stage manager, Nemo, has been live-tweeting the last hour and live-tweeting with our other stage manager, Nay, all of the hours we've been doing. So if you fancy reading up what happened so far, including lots of gift GIFs and memes and other things that the kids enjoy, you can do that on there. You can also watch the entire adventure to date on twitch.tv/adventureswanted. We film everything and live stream it. That also means if you can't be in the room for any reason, although you should be if you can be, obviously, you can watch it live on the internet, and that is totally there for you to catch up afterwards on Twitch and YouTube after that as well. Tickets can be bought to watch and play at the box office outside, at Sweet Box Office, and also at the Ed Fringe website. To play, you have to be at the actual box office because there's different ticketing systems. Because yes, Mark bought a ticket to play, and Aidan bought a ticket to play, and they are the same cost as you've got for sitting in those seats there. There's, I think, about 12 hours left to purchase of the remaining 52, like 1 or 2 tickets per hour, something like that. Like, we're really tight on player tickets, so if you do fancy having a go and book them now, otherwise you will not be able to. You have been warned. If you have never played D&D before, there is obviously a certain kind of D&D stereotype that you might imagine of gatekeeping and that sort of thing. We disagree with that entirely. D&D is to be shared, and want to share it with as many people as possible. So do come and join us. If you agree with all of these grand statements about D&D, then we also have a Patreon where you can support us financially to do more of that. Shows like this in Brighton, Edinburgh, and in London, as well as free play events and accessibility events about how these games function, especially in the theatrical context, because we're also all theatre nerds. That's enough from me. I talk a lot. I will pass to my 4 players who did a wonderful job this hour. Thank you very much. And if you have anything you'd like to plug or share in your home life or at the Edinburgh Fringe, please do. The mic is yours.
I would just simply say check out the Edinburgh Games Hub. They're just around the corner. It's a great place to go if you love board games, D&D, anything like that. They've got over 900 games to choose from. Great place to spend an evening with a couple of friends.
All right, thank you.
I'm a sign language interpreter. So if anyone needs any sign language interpreted or anything interpreted into sign language, then yeah.
Isla interprets live our improvised D&D game at 10:30 every morning. Literally live interprets stuff that we make up on the spot, including D&D monsters that have no sign language interpreted form. So it's very, very impressive. Thank you very much for helping us with that as well, Isla. Reese.
I am a punter, so I'm going to shamelessly plug things that I've seen and enjoyed.
Yay!
Over at the Gilded Balloon, there is a show called Hot Brown Honey. It is beautiful and awe-inspiring and just an incredible piece of dance and music, and I would highly recommend it.
They're also doing shows in London now as well, if you are one of the people who travels up to Edinburgh and sees shows up here, so you can see it in London too now, which is great.
And that's on at 7:30
At Assembly.
at Assembly, the Gilded Balloon.
Gilded Balloon.
Yeah.
Ah, one of them. Go to Bristow Square and ask. I'm sure someone can help you, right? Go for it.
Aidan has nothing to plug other than be good to each other. And I'd recommend, as I say, this is my first time playing D&D. So if you do have the chance to play with these guys, it's been great.
Oh,
Yeah.
very kind.
Thank you.
Shucks. Oh, no. Okay, lovely. Let's leave before I cry. Thank you ever so much, guys. If you're joining us for the next hour, please pop back in again, because we have to do tickets on the hour rotating. If you are leaving us today, thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.